Hi, I'm LDS in Medium, and thank you so much for tuning in today. I want to try to bring religion and spirituality closer together, and this is what this pod is all about. I will talk about my own thoughts and feelings as I am both LDS and have spiritual gifts, something that I've had my whole life, but I always thought that it was hard to combine these gifts with my religion. This has torn me into two directions, and I have talked to many people who feel the same way. I can't choose not to have my spiritual gifts, but I can choose how I use them. And I always want to use them for good and to help others. I believe my heavenly parents gave them to me for a reason. So, this is me. Join my quest for knowledge. So, as me and my sister did a 5-day New World, New You challenge with Tony Robbins in this past January, we wanted to talk about what we experienced and our thoughts that we took with us from this challenge. It was 5 days packed with information and exercises and challenges every day. And that is why we decided to make this a sister episode and do shorter episodes over the week with our thoughts and reflections. This is also my chance to introduce you to my sister, my guiding light in the darkness and my anchor in reality, and my best friend. So, this is episode 1 of day 1 of Tony Robbins' New World, New You challenge.
So, hi, this is my sister. I'd like to introduce her to you. She is awesome, and we're going to talk about Tony Robbins. Say hi to everyone.
Hi, everyone.
So, this is what I'm doing for fun. And do you have any thoughts about what we went through on the training?
Well, first I wanted to say that it was very intense. It was 5 days. We got home from work, both of us, ate food, got the kids ready for bed, and then as I was putting the kids to bed, I was logged in and I was listening and trying to take notes. And then it went on for between 1.5 to sometimes 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
And so it was a lot. And what did he say about taking notes?
You should take notes as if you're going to teach them to someone else. That's what they said. It was a little bit funny, like on the last day when he asked, how many pages have you written? And he's like, have you written 10 pages? And I was like, yeah. Have you written 20 pages? And I was like, yeah. So he said, has anyone written 30 pages? And I started counting my pages, and I think I came to 86. But he didn't count that far. So I was like, yeah, 86 pages. I've been taking notes.
Yeah. I always been taking a lot of notes too as I was studying, and we both studied a lot, and so
yeah, me too.
We're both very used to taking notes, and that's kind of how I learn. When I write it down, I remember it better.
The same. I need to use all my senses to memorize things. If I can see it, if I can hear it, and if I can write it at the same time, I memorize more.
So let's try and teach this, what we've been learning. So we both have our notes, and we've made kind of a schedule. And so this is day 1, and we're going to talk about a life well lived. That got me thinking, it's like, what is a life well lived? And then he asked 2 questions. Who am I, and why am I here? And those are 2 universal questions. And so what do you think about those?
Well, since I have the gospel in my life, the who am I, it's been a journey, but I'm trying to see, I'm starting to see the real me now. And it's a mix of knowing my heritage as a daughter of God and who I'm becoming in this earthly body and on this earthly plane, and trying to blend together the knowledge I have of my divinity with the sources I have to work with, my body and my brain. It's a journey that I'm on, but it's fun.
Yeah, and I'm thinking we both have a quest, kind of thirst for knowledge.
Yes.
We both studied a lot.
Yes.
And we're constantly studying and learning.
And evolving. Don't forget that.
Yeah, and evolving, hopefully, yes.
Yes.
And so I think, we're here on earth to learn.
Yes.
And we're here on earth, I feel, to love and learn to coexist and also take responsibilities and conquer our weaknesses. What do you think?
Yes, I think so. Yes, I agree with everything you say. And during that process, we have to experience hurt, pain, laughter, joy. I mean, we experience so much emotions. We're basically living emotions because emotions is what makes it worth living. If we didn't have emotions, who would want to live? If you couldn't feel pure joy or happiness, what would be the point? So I just got the sense that we're here to master our emotions and to live our emotions. It just came to me. So I was like, yeah, I think it's all about the emotions because they are what gives us the experiences that we have. It's through emotions.
Yeah. And how about this feeling out of control was something he was talking about. And have you ever felt out of control? Like life was just happening to you all around you and you weren't steering at all. You were just like on the roller coaster and just holding on for dear life.
Well, my whole divorce has been that. I mean, one day I thought happily married, and the next day I was in chaos and he had left, and I was left with the kids and the turmoil and the pain and sadness, and there was absolutely nothing I could do about it. He was there one day and then he was gone the next. And so taking control of my life and the emotions and trying to steer that way through work and having the kids and like mundane day-to-day tasks, going to buy groceries and cleaning the house and doing laundry, it was a roller coaster ride, and it was intense, and it was just something I would not want to do again, ever. But I've learned so much from it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You learned a lot. So now, knowing what you know, would you go back to your old life? Like if you could erase it? I know you said sometimes that I wish he could wake up and just have amnesia. Just come home and he wouldn't remember anything of what has happened. But I would remember things.
Yes.
And so would you have gone back to that then?
No. That was thoughts that I had in the beginning. And I've come to realize that, no, what I want out of life is I want to serve a bigger purpose. I want to serve more than just me. I want to be of service to the world. And he's not on that path. And he hasn't been for a very, very long time. And I don't think he ever will be on that path. Well, at least not for a long time. And I can't go back to how it was. I need to go forward.
But then, do you think you would have been here at this place now, doing what you do, if it hadn't happened?
No, I wouldn't. Well, I've thought about this pod for a long time. You know, we've talked about it for years.
Yeah.
Like doing a YouTube or I just had this longing inside of me that I had a message that needed to come out. So I've had this in me for a very long time, and now I get chills all over. So, but as long as I was in place in that marriage, only taking care of the kids and taking care of the home, I wasn't seen, I wasn't heard, no one listened to me, and I don't know how to say that in English, kuvad.
Domesticated, kind of. Domesticated.
Yeah, domesticated. That's how I felt. And so when I didn't have his energy around me, that was actually... I can't blame him, because in my head, whatever he thought about me or did to me, I still concurred to it. So I let him get to me to think that I wasn't enough and that I wasn't lovable and that I didn't have any opinions and that my opinions wasn't worth anything. So, but I chose that. I let that. I have to take responsibility for my actions. And so I didn't fight back. I didn't voice my voice. I didn't do that. And so the best thing ever happened to me was that he was taken from my life so that I could find my voice again. And I did that through writing song lyrics, starting to sing, which eventually led to this pod.
Yeah. But what do you think? Do you think everybody here on this earth has a purpose? Like, is everybody valuable? Does everybody have a mission? Does everybody have a soul purpose?
Well, that's a really hard thing. I'm getting chills now and goosebumps. So my guides want to tell me something, but yeah, more goosebumps. Some people say that we have a life purpose, and some people say that there's no life purpose. We're only here to live. But from my perspective and with the knowledge that I've gained, I believe that each and every one of us has our spiritual gifts. And we're put here to evolve them and to use them for good. And how we use that and how we evolve them, it's different. And there might be different kind of life purposes for each and every one of us. But the essence is that we use our gifts that we have gotten in a way that serves mankind and the earth and humanity. That's my belief.
So I'm thinking that there's a lot of people out there now with this COVID, I'm in a few groups on Facebook and I'm reading about people that are suffering. They've had accidents, but something that caught my eye yesterday was these 14-year-olds that are considering suicide. People that, like there was another one shortly after and she had shot herself. And so that was also like a suicide or attempted suicide. And then I'm thinking, well, have they lost hope? Do they have something to believe in? Did they not find a value in their life? And how can you help people that are like thinking about these thoughts?
Oh, that's a really hard question. One of the pod episodes I've recently done is just about how I myself in that age were suffering from suicide thoughts and depression, and how I got divine connection that helped me through it. But I think ultimately you need to open up. We need to talk about it. There's so many out there that's hurting, and I know I didn't tell a soul of my inner thoughts. It was just inside of me, and it was nothing I would ever have talked and said out loud. But in order to get help, you need to open up and say that, hey, this is what I'm thinking, this is how I'm feeling. And I guess for me, talking about, I'm getting emotional now, sorry, but talking about how I experienced it, that I literally could say that I didn't think one single person in this world cared about me. And that's my firm belief back then. And I could count up every person in my life, in my family, in my extended family, and I did not feel loved from a single person from them. So as a teenager, you grow and you kind of disconnect part of your brain in order for evolve, and then it connects back on again, and it's like teenage years. But during that time, there's so much emotions, there's so much hormones in your body, and if the chemistry isn't right, it's so easy to get depressed and feel lonely, and it's so hard to get out if you don't have people to help you. But the thing is, if people doesn't know that you're feeling that way and you never talk to anyone about it, it's just frustrating that so many youth, there's help out there to get if you just knew it. But they're so good. I was so good in keeping it inside and keeping it hidden that, I don't think anyone knew about my thoughts and how depressed I was and how sad and how lonely and how unworthy and unloved I felt. Because I never showed it. I never said it.
No, I think you're right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I also remember I had an episode like that when I was a teenager. Most of the time I didn't. Life just happened around me. And I kept busy a lot. But I remember I actually also did a list one time when I was really sad. And I also put on all the people that I thought didn't love me. And I had I think I had one person on the side of one person that really loved me. But the feeling of not being loved was really overweighing and felt really heavy. I remember it passed really fast, but it was one night when I was so sad. And something must have happened that triggered it. But I just wanted to take the time and say, that you are loved. There is help to get, and there are people that love you. Never think otherwise, It's just one of those lies that our mind creates to just make us feel really lousy and do things that you cannot turn back from. And so, we were getting off track a little bit, but I just had that on my chest.
Well, it's about a life well lived. I mean, that's the topic. And for me, a life well lived is living it to the fullest and doing the best I can with the tools I have.
Yes.
And for me, that is my spiritual gifts, what I am, how I am, and the life I have, to do the best I can for everyone around me. And if I can just help one person and change one person's perspective, that would all be worth it. It's just, I don't know how to say it. I just have this desire inside of me to say that you are not alone and that I am here if you ever want to talk. Just reach out. I don't know. That's it.
That was all for today's episodes. Tomorrow we will release a new episode, so please stay tuned in. Also write in the comments what your thoughts are. This is my journey. Thank you so much for keeping me company today. Please download, like, share and subscribe and help spread the light and spread the word to expand our community. Let's bring more love, peace and unity to this world. Take care of yourself and your loved ones. Always be grateful, kind and loving. Be brave and remember to step out of your comfort zone and smile. If you support us on Patreon, you will get access to our meditations and extra materials so you can download them as MP3. Also, we now have a Facebook group which you can access from our Facebook community. Please answer the questions as you apply to participate. It will be a safe haven where we can keep discussing religion and spirituality, our spiritual gifts and self-development. Remember, one person can make a difference, but together we can change the world.